we proceed to these. I don't think there's much point in doing welcome and apologies, but we'll do it anyway. Names and naming, meeting with Eastwood Memory CAF. Last week, a couple of us had a meeting with Diane, right at the Dementia CAF. Quite a nice meeting, a lot of information from her, and we've been asked for her support. And I think as a council, we should support this 100%. And what Diane would like to do is make the whole of North Roxo dementia friendly. I think most people sitting in this room have had some connection or know somebody who's got dementia or has had dementia. I think it's a very deserving cause, and I think we should support it as best as we can. So basically, we're all ongoing time. There is information around. I have got some here if anybody wants it. We can pass it out or we can email it to you. But basically, what I'm doing really is asking, are we all 100% kind of supporting this well-worth cause? David?
Just as an aside to that, Chair, realising that Broxtowe have built 2-3 dementia bungalows opposite the Green, so Broxtowe are well into dementia care.
I agree with what Diane's trying to do. She's working really, really hard to do this, to bring it up. One of the things is that she's asked us if we can hold some stuff here. I can't say any issues with that, so we will do that. We'll sort all the paperwork out and then that will be paid for, so that's no issue. And she's given us some names for some people to contact, and that's what we'll try and do. So, as I said, I just really hope that we can all get behind this, give it our 100%. Lead on whatever we need to do, but it's just taking posters to shops or just kind of support on that day when that spokesman come in and try and tell us all about it. Because apparently there's 100 different types of dementia. Correct? Yeah. There is various, and it's starting to hit a younger age as well. It's starting to go down, so we can all be affected by it in one shape or another. So I'll take that as that everybody would really, really like to support that. Thank you very much for that. While I'm in the chair, in talking, there will be a slight change to the agenda. This is after exclusion of public and press, and that's item 8 to be removed to after item 10. And this is reference standing order 6A. No applications to lobbying. Oh, declarations of interest, sorry. Screwed over it.
We'll do a lot.
Allotments, yeah, again, as you as well, yeah. No applications of lobbying. Appointment of personnel committee.
This item was held over from the last meeting, which was mayor making. Because of the short notice, it was laid on the table. I hope at this meeting we can now pass it through and actually vote on it. As per presented to you, I'm formally moved, and the Lib Dem councillors on the committee will be Councillor London, Councillor Towns and Councillor Oxton.
Myself with Pat Hamilton.
Right, if that's
That's you still want?
yeah, well, yes, yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Right.
I formally move it then. There's a second then?
I'll second it.
All in favour? Right, reports and questions.
This is Councillor.
Yes.
was first set, it wasn't obvious at the time that a member of staff would be on long-term sick. It is to be proposed that we vary the amount of sickness benefit on reserves, as this expense wasn't anticipated. £1,300, we've achieved that by working on another 14 weeks at full pay, which is the entitlement, and then for another 6 months at half pay. And then via 2,600 from civic initiatives. The rest of the shortfall will be via at a later date from the 120 Nottingham Road Maintenance Fund as part of the caretaker's role. He is doing light maintenance jobs. Okay. I don't know whether anyone wants to make a comment, but I'll propose, if someone will second that proposal, that we do those diamonds.
Well, I wanted to make a comment, Mr. Mayor, on this thing on the first lot. The second paragraph, it says 16 hours a week. Now, if I remember rightly, we agreed that it would be 12 and we voted on 12 hours a week. Not 16. Right?
It's 12,
Yeah, well, this is, we're allowing for 16 hours a week here.
Well, I think the proviso was that if the weight load increases, it could increase his hours as long as it had already been brought and sanctioned.
I don't want us to be making, or it just to be an extra.
No. Just got one point. You did say that when he was appointed, he is qualified to do back testing.
I understand from the interview that was the case.
I can't find it tonight, but I saw it somewhere where you've got a fairing that normally does your back testing.
That happened before his
I assume now that they won't be asked again, and provided he's qualified,
Yeah.
he can
Next
do
year,
it.
but of course it was prior to.
Yeah, cost to the school.
There is one addition to that. Besides doing those wiring, I would like the town clerk to do a review of charges for the establishment and come up with proposals for the July meeting.
Yeah.
Because I think we've got to attack this from both ends.
Yeah.
There is also additional bookings which will help, because as soon as we go above the amount, when I presented the budget, it was as last year, any additional from last year will be additional income. On that respect, could you not take any bookings before, after the July date or from the August date? We don't want to build up a scenario where we've booked the ball on long-term. I know we've booked some long-term bookings, but if anybody else comes on long-term, can you point out there's going to be a review? We don't want to put people on a horse that they
Yeah,
can't ride.
well, that's only common sense.
Mr. Mayor, can I just ask them, Leader, once a new amount has been agreed upon, it will be a case of everyone that uses the hall as from a certain date, it'll now be this, yeah. There'll be no exclusions, will there?
No,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
The main substance of the motion is to be there.
Yes, do we? We have a vote. Can we have a vote on that, please?
On my proposals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abstentions, John? No? Agreed.
Hmm. Okay, the NatWest closure. I aim to visit the banks in Eastwood for the best deal. We need a business switch scheme, a debit card, a look at the cost implications as the turnover exceeds 120k per year, then we could incur a monthly charge. So I think if I go to all the banks for their best set up and feedback to the next meeting. Can't follow NatWest fully at this present time. We need convenience for the clerk and the RFO and a bank in Eastwood, really.
Well, it's Eastwood, it's their branch with, because my son's a bank there, and he says, oh, you've got to tell us.
Yeah, we can't have the park and
Or
not
Ripley, I think it is.
We need an access to cash.
Well, he's advising us here to actually go to TSB for small amounts, like paying in cash and cheques, income from allotments and hire chambers. A small debit card, I don't know why we want a debit card, but it goes on somewhere to say that they're keeping that West Bank as it is, because a lot of the stuff that goes through that West is done online, direct debit and things like that. And so there'll be no charge to us at all into the deals at the banks. The TSB, once the income's 50 grand, then bank
You get
charges
charged.
come in.
Yeah. I think the idea of a debit card, Charlie, is any purchases made online or during the building work of this building. Some of the councillors that did most of the work were using their own money and things like that to buy and then claim back at a later date, which isn't ideal.
No, that's not ideal.
I know they won't be doing that sort of thing here, but it would just be handy, wouldn't it?
Sorry to interrupt, but it's also for toiletry stuff, toilet rolls, bleach, cleaning materials, sections like that. At the moment, I thought it'd be sold, Debbie or Chris to go and pay out money out of our own pocket and try and claim it back. But the debit card must have a limit on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Robert?
There is an issue with NatWest Bank. They have put our banking details together with an employee, and they can't seem to split it. I don't want to go into detail in open, but afterwards, if you care to ask me, I can give you a more full answer. We've been on at them for 2 years to get it separated, and they still won't, which is not a good idea. We really need a totally separate banking for the council.
Just as a thought, has anybody here when the NatWest is going to shut?
September.
September, October.
So we really got to put this in place as soon as.
The appeal to the valuation office. The leader, on seeing the huge costs for the rating of this building, put in for re-evaluation. The valuer eventually visited, because this has been going on some time now. The figure proposed was a ridiculous cost, and to give you some idea of a comparison, is that the Broxtowe hub as was, and the door of Phillips Hall is £15 per square metre. The bill for this building works out at £90 per square metre. So an appeal has been processed, and hopefully will be listened to, and it will be re-evaluated, because it's ridiculous. Yeah.
We've had, just I'm not sure whether you know, Josie, but we've had a letter back from valuation officers saying that have you received our complaint or thingy, and they're looking into it.
This morning.
There's no particular date and time when that will be reprocessed, that is being done.
On the payment schedule, I mean, I had some queries, so I could, if anybody's interested in the similar queries, I could answer what the RFO told me, such as the business rates was an overcharge from the valuers. So it does look, 3886, it's this money that we've had to pay, but we hope we'll get some of that back. The civic initiatives, the 108 was for the rental of a curtain on the Queen's picture. The minus 1130 on the audit accountancy is last year's unpaid to date. That's my notes. It made sense when I wrote it, but
Last year's unpaid what, Josie?
unpaid to date. It's, in other words, it's put it as a minus because we've not paid it yet.
No.
The professional fees as the HR gentleman. Is there anything, oh, the income grant, on the income, the grants, the £1,000.76 is the neighbourhood plan, which is an excess that we're left with, and because of the time frame, it's got to be returned, which we can, at a later date, reapply for when we do finalise the neighbourhood plan to have some printed to have in stock. I mean, they won't be distributed around Eastwood again to everybody's household, but we can claim that money back. Does anybody else anything to ask?
Do we still need the services of that HR?
Well, no comment. You'd have to put a vote to that.
I think it would be best for the personnel committee to have a meeting and we'd have to make a recommendation to the
Oh, right, yeah, I know what you're on about now.
The income and expenditure. Again, it is asterisk, the RFO's asterisk, those three Broxton payments for the rates, as you can see. It mounts up to quite a lot, well, nearly £4,000. Yeah, the pattern testing's done every year.
Yeah, it's all right, I'd watched it for a fan.
Yeah.
It seemed to be the query with the caretaking firm capable of doing it. Or so it said.
Just to back you up there, yes, it has got to be done by somebody who can keep a certificate, who is qualified. As far as I'm aware, he is certificated.
I've just seen the certificate.
You know, you pass it on to, or can you show it to the personnel committee then, so that we can see it.
Well, there's no reason why we can't ask for a copy of it.
Yeah. And it should be there, it should be kept on his file anyway.
Yeah.
Can I ask you on 1718, Council of Dean Towns, maintenance materials, 6453. That's just, what does it consist of? I actually saw him come down the road some weeks ago with a hoe in his hand. I thought, well, is he in the gutter, over the gutters up? I don't know where he was drumming his hoe down. What's all that about?
The hoe is to help get the weeds and everything out from underneath the seat, right in front of the police station and everything else. So that's what the hose for, and the yard. Get the yard clean. I can't, what the 63, I can't remember what that was off the top of my head. But I'm sure it's for maintenance materials. I think you find, I can remember now, it was
There'll be an invoice anyway, won't there?
It's
A
black
receipt
paint.
for it.
the back paint the steps outside. I don't know if you noticed, the steps have been painted. There was a wire brush, there was a brush, and that's what it was. The paint was quite expensive.
You might be as well off to get some Roundup, just spraying them with main
We
stuff.
have done that. We have got some. We have done that. we've got to be careful where we spray, what time do we spray,
Yeah,
Or who you say.
or we spray.
Oh,
Can I just ask a question on him about maintenance? I've not had a look before I came in, but there was a window that wanted, window wanted painting upstairs. Is that in the precinct? Is anything being done about it?
The three metal ones, the split windows, have not been replaced by the police, and we've been, of course, replaced them. So, right, but it's on the
It
list.
does look a bit of an eyesore.
It's on our list, mate.
That's what we're trying to do, we're trying to slowly enhance the front of the building. If you don't use the black steps, they look a lot better, the weeds are gone, they look a lot better, et cetera, et cetera.
okay. Can I then move to report?
So, thank you.
Ask them that.
All in favour, all in favour? Right, item B, allotments, and absence of, councillor Woodhead, I'll take this up. There was a advert went into the paper, I don't know if everybody saw it in the paper, if not, I think everybody was given, a copy. If not, then it is here. He's can go into our notice boards, which is not already there. We have had one lady who's shown an interest, and she's been given a key, so she's been given a quarter of the two allotments. So, as far as I'm aware from Ken, is that he's providing all the tools and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so that's the allotments on the community garden there. Tony?
Yeah, just to let you know that, as you, I think you're all aware that I'm trying to help Ken with his project. I'm not overseeing Ken, it's a work in progress. I want to work with Ken, I want to help him, because Ken can't be down at Derby Road and up at Ducat. So if I can help him, that's what I want to do. I think Ken's doesn't see it like that at the moment, I don't think, and I'm trying to get him to win him round, because I want him to sit down with me. I want to know everything. I want to know everything about the allotment. I want to go to Ducat Road, I want to know that plot allotment. I want to know where phase 4 is. I don't want to go round and asking Dave where's phase 4. I want to know as much about allotment as Dave knows. So that when I give you a report, I give you a proper report. At the moment, from what has been passed on by Clark, we've got problems up at Ducat that's being dealt with. Until I speak to Ken, I can't really go into it too much. But at this present moment in time, I'm going to get the keys off Chris, and then I will be going up there and trying to speak to some of these allotment holders and to let them know who I am, and try and, you know, if there's any help that they need, I can help them out, and if there's any questions that need asking, I can bring them back to Chris. Chris doesn't have to go running up there, and it's going to help Chris, and that's basically what I want to do. So if anybody sees Ken before they see me, just tell him I want to help him and not oversee him. Thank you.
Statements, reports?
Yes, okay. Well, the first one is, something's been brought to our attention, is regarding the letter we received from the HSBC bank concerning the Eastwood Training Association account. We're in a situation where it's been closed, there is a sum of money involved, and obviously we want to make a decision of how we're going to deal with this matter. This is basically a scheme which is outside the council, so that's why I've been asked to report, not a financial item. So basically, I just really want the council to decide how we now deal with this matter, because we're in a situation where there's outstanding sum of it's on the other side. 250.
This isn't a matter for the town council, it is a twinning association. Can we give them at least a month or two to come back to us they'll go back to the bank and decide between themselves what they want to do with this, and so we don't have to get.
I think once we start taking the cash on, Mr. Mayor, then we're going to be responsible for any future
No,
financial involvement. I don't want to see that happen.
no.
No, I'll get together with Howard and we'll sort out the best way forward.
Thank you very much.
Noted.
Thank you.
The next one is just a general item, basically, it's to say that the lease has now been completed for better land hypnosis. The shop is now open, and they're actually carrying out business.
Got very nice flashing with them, though.
No more.
Brilliant. Absolutely marvellous.
Can I just ask something here? I don't know, Dave, Josie, whether you can answer this. John wants to clad the front of the building, his shop face. He wants to take it back to olden times. Would he need planning permission for that?
I would think
I would think so,
100%.
yeah. Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Mm.
Or Sense says that he would do that anyway, and they will give him advice, so it's always easier to go through the planning officer,
Yeah.
uh,
So that's what
rather
he
than
should do.
just gung ho and then find out later that there's a problem.
Okay, thank you.
I did do an offer to him when he first took on, we were talking about taking on the lease, if he gave me a rough sketch of what he intended to do outdoors, put for him.
Yeah, he tends to.
But,
He
that, I
do
don't know,
it as he goes along.
well, that's something you can't really do with
So he
planning
needs,
permission.
he needs to speak to Roxanne Planning, yeah, no problem. Thank you for that.
And the next item is the closure of the neighbourhood plan ground. Councillor Masters gave you a figure of how much we've actually paid back. What you've got in this report is a breakdown of how the money was spent and how much we received and how we got the difference. We are in a situation where we can apply for a further grant as we proceed with the neighbourhood plan. But unfortunately we have to close it on the 31st of March.
No, no.
Are you all clear with that?
Or everybody happy?
Happy with that?
Can we note that report?
Can we note that report, please? Yep. Yep. So, questions to the leader?
Can I just make it quite, this is a new item, we've not met this before, but there are one or two items that you can do in this one, and it seems fair to let everybody know that in terms of the borough councillors, town councillors and county councillors, they are able to report to the leader at this stage of any questions or anything they want to say on this particular item.
It's open free for all. Topic. It's an open free for all topic.
Josie?
The terms of reference for personnel, we didn't vote on that. Were you going to do it on the update or something?
We did. Was the report given one, councillor? Which gave the last meeting, which gave all that information.
Cash.
Pardon?
Item 4. All moved and seconded.
No, just,
You never mentioned
No.
terms of
No, in
reference.
terms of reference, you gave us a copy of the last meeting.
Laid on the table.
And you said, we haven't got time to discuss it now, if my memory's right, and you said, look through it, and then if there's anything that you're not satisfied, we'll discuss it at the next meeting.
And I asked the question at the beginning of my
Well,
statement.
I must have missed it then, Bob, because
I says, is there any questions on the terms of reference that I laid on the table?
Sorry, I didn't hear you mention that word.
No, I would say I didn't know.
And then I stated what the member of the
What happens now then?
because
Because I think,
it's not been,
it wasn't, I'll read terms of reference as laid on the table.
And I say, you didn't say those words, definitely.
So,
I'll second
Oh,
that.
no.
All in
all in
favour?
favour of it? Motion? Yeah.
Oh, I'm abstaining,
No,
I'm
on this one,
abstaining,
'cause I'm not-
Josie, you are saying?
yeah.
Just before we move on, I'd like to ask a quick question to the leader of the majority group. Looking at that neighbourhood plan, you received a grant of 7,533. I hate to see money go back. Why didn't you use it? There must be something that you could have used it. 1,076 people have died for that, and you wafted it back.
The terms of the grant was very specific for that item. It had to be spent for that period of time on that item only. And at the time, we put the grant in at the higher figures so we could achieve it, what we wanted to do. So we only claimed the money that it actually took to use. I'd rather not waste money that's being granted to us. If it's not used, I'd rather hand it back. And then it may stand in good stead next time when we want money again to grant from them. We play by the rules that they set.
Oh, they're not going to say, oh, they gave us 1,076 back next time,
I don't-
we'll reduce it by.
No, we made it very clear that we could have a second round
Okay.
on applying for
Okay,
this grant.
yeah, okay.
Is that it then, yeah, no more questions? That completes the public side of the meeting. Thank you very much for attending.
We need to read that from the section. Chair, I may not be right, but should you not be, probably not now, but used to do, should you not be reading that little para that on the section, blah, blah, blah? I'm sure you should.
Reasonable, isn't it?